Alright, whoever jumps in the chat first, just let me know how the audio is. I changed a few things because people were saying that it was quiet, and especially quiet in the playback. So I turned it up, and I'm hoping it's better. If I have to go up a little louder, I guess I can do that too. Kathy, good evening to you too. Nice to see you as well. How's the audio? Scorched Force, welcome in. Good? Okay. I hope so. I don't want to, have it too quiet like it was, I guess, yesterday. So it seems like in the live stream they're fine. But as soon as it goes on and tries to get played back, it's like, YT like turns it way down or something. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. Alright, who else is in here? Gloria Mitchell, welcome in. Vault 111, hello. 6 Sigma 6. Sounds low, but audio's good. Audio sounds great. Turn it up a couple more clicks just to hopefully make it stay better throughout the whole thing. How are you all doing tonight? It just seems like every single day there's so many stories. It's just like Russian roulette, what you're going to pick to cover, I don't even know which way to go. There's so much, and then I get off on a rabbit hole, start digging in and researching one part, and then there's just so much happening right now. It's just crazy. We're going to start here too. Because you remember when this came out first, right? When this new mutant strain took off right over in the UK. But they said that it was more infectious, but they said that they didn't have any research that showed that it was any more deadly or anything like that. It was just more contagious, more infectious. Well, now they're flipping that. Okay, you're starting to see it like right here. Okay, these are from today. Gloria said it feels like we've moved to another freaking planet. It definitely feels like we're in like the Twilight Zone for sure. A bad dream you can't wake up from. Speed Crusader, how you doing? I'm doing good. Just getting through, right? That's all we can do is get through day to day. But yeah, here, let's read a little bit of this. It says, the CV variant that has taken over Great Britain may also be more deadly. So more fear, right? Fear. They have to push this, right? And I just love even the pictures that they use. Like right here, you're using like crime scene tape, which just instantly hits you psychologically like like a death, a murder, when you see these types of things up a lot of times. And it's all part of their, the plan that they do. It says, in December, a new fast-spreading variant of CV19 was reported in Great Britain. There is now evidence that it is more lethal. Well, why did you change your tune, Because it didn't fit their agenda at the time. Well, now it does. Okay? It says, today, Prime Minister Boris Johnson addressed the world with the news. He says, media reports, including the BBC and the New York Times, say the new variant known as B117 may be about 30% more deadly. These reports disguise the level of uncertainty in this estimate. On the lower end, individual studies are somewhat equivocal. It says, on the upper end, frighteningly, one study finds that it may almost be 3 times as deadly. Taken together, the evidence suggests that the new virus is almost certainly more deadly than the old one. I mean, listen, is that not double talk? Look at this. Is almost certainly. It's just double speak, You just throw it like back and forth with all these numbers, on the upper end. Oh, on the lower end, it's just very, very confusing. But in the end, this is how they end it. Yep, it's more deadly than the old one, which pushes the fear, which pushes, everything else that they want to be pushed along with. It says all these findings come from a report published by the New and Emerging Respiratory Virus Threats Advisory Group. Wow. Also known as NERVTAG. It says, the NERVTAG report summarizes 9 results from 5 different unpublished studies as it's shown in this figure. It says, is this the same thing? No, they cut in there. I hate when they do that. It says, each study reports an estimated of the relative case fatality rate of B117 along with the lower or upper bound. There is a general agreement among these studies that the infection with the variant is more likely to lead to death than infection with other variants. See? So this is just, they're just going to throw up. I'm not even going to read the rest. they're just going to throw up these studies. Look at, oh, this study and this scientist and that scientist. They say that it is, so you have to now, believe that, right? We've talked about the logical thinking or, common sense. There just is no more of that. Welcome in, St. James, Buffalo Gal, welcome in. So yeah, I just wanted to start off with that because I just have a feeling that they're going to use this really, really bad. One of two ways. I think they can, number one, they can obviously say that this is spreading throughout the world, to come to the United States, come wherever. Then they can start pushing up restrictions again, pushing up lockdowns again. But not only that, what they can also do is say that this thing is more deadly, right? It spreads to like the United States, and this is the United States case I'm talking about. Then Sleepy Joe can say, oh, look, we had something that was so much more infectious, so much more deadly, and we beat it, right? You know what I mean? So you can see how they'll be able to use this. Which way will they turn their agenda? Which way will they use it, right? Welcome in, Debbie Carson. Leaf Trimmer, welcome in. God bless you, too. All right, let's keep going. And who are they going to blame this on, right? These two stories, both mainstream stories, right? Talking about how it's more deadly, and then right next to it, pretty much on where I was looking, look at this. The UK police breakup, lockdown dash flouting wedding with 150 guests. See? This is how they do it. It's your fault. It's your fault, Eric. It's your fault because we don't want to listen. And it's these people's fault, right? 150 people didn't listen to anything. They were up. They went to a wedding. And now, because of that, and them saying it's so much more infectious, right, and it's so much more deadly, I could easily see the agenda, them allowing and using these two stories perfectly together to say that, everything's getting so much worse. And then they're allowed to open up, whatever they want to start doing all the different things that they want. It opens up Pandora's box for them so they can start locking you down, restricting you, etc., etc. Okay, it says police in London say that they have broken up a wedding attended by 150 people despite a nationwide lockdown that bars households from mixing. Wow. Yep, that's the world we live in. Like you said, it does feel like we're in a bad dream and can't wake up or just on a totally different planet. Says police in London said Friday that they have broke up a wedding attended by 150 people despite a nationwide lockdown that bars households from mixing. Says the venue was a school whose principal died from the CB last year. It says the Metropolitan Police Force said officers found a large number of people packed into the North London school with blacked out windows on Thursday night. It says the force said that the following inquiries, it was established that the group had gathered at the location for a wedding. It says the force, listen to that, this is the word, right? Initially said that 400 people were at the wedding, but later revised the number to 150. That's kind of crazy. Why would they say that it was initially 400? That's not even close, right? It's not 400 to 350 or something like that. That's drastically less. Because probably more sounded worse, right, at the time. Says weddings are allowed only in exceptional circumstances, such as one partner being dangerously ill and with a maximum of 6 people attending. It says police said the organizer could face a £10,000 or a $13,600 fine. Many guests fled as police arrived, but 5 people who attended received £200 fines. They're taking everything that you can do away, and they just use this fear. They use it over and over and over again. All right, let's go on. See, this is very, very... It's not that it's not funny, but it's just like you had so many people saying, how 2020 was going to be so great. Not only that they were guaranteed that they were going to ship out these $2,000 payments to everyone, etc., etc. Well, now they've backed off of that. So now instead of it being $2,000, it's going to be $1,400. And now they're saying that right here, look at it might take a while, that it may not even come anytime soon. It says Biden's $1,400 stimulus payments might take a while. Here's why Congress is reluctant. It says, don't look for that $1,400 stimulus check from President Joe Biden anytime soon. While there is still strong sentiment in Congress in favor of the payments, disagreements have emerged over the new presidential's overall economic package, and those disputes are likely to slow approval of any new stimulus money. See, that is it. It says Biden wants a $1,400 per person payment as part of his $1.9 trillion economic aid package. However, the plan's overall cost has Republican senators reluctant to endorse it. It says the Democratic-run House is considering taking up the plan as early as next month, but the proposal's path in the 50-50 divided Senate is still uncertain. But they have the advantage now. They have the majority by one because of the tiebreaker with Harris. So if they end up being in a tie, they do have the majority to get pretty much whatever they want done. It says the key to getting approval from the stimulus payment involves centrist Republicans, and they are wary of Biden's plans at the moment. It says a bipartisan group of 16 senators, including Kansas Republican Jerry Moran, plans to meet up with top administration official this weekend. I want very much to hear the justification for a package that is so big after we just had a $900 billion package last month, and a lot of that has yet to be dispersed. Yeah, I've heard that too, that tons of people have not even got a lot of that at all. It says the White House said this week that it would be challenging to drop the price of the $1.9 trillion proposal, which includes money for unemployment insurance, rolling up your sleeve distribution, and schools. It says, but this decision it's a conversation, and he is no stranger to the process of bill making, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki told reporters. See, so they're just going to continue to back out of whatever they said. However they back out of it is, that's always the agenda. They just tell you what you want to hear, and people continue to just fall for it, hand over foot, just over and over again. And if they don't see through this, I don't know how they can't see how obvious this is. Jump back in into the chat. Ford Truth says, how much did you make off the lost sheep, Eric? Seeing as I've had about 6 donations in 4 months or whatever it's been, so I'm not making anything off of this. So that's real nice. Welcome in, Bex Bit of Blue. For truth, tell us from faith from the heart, as God judges a man's and a woman's heart. I have spoke over and over again, begging people to hit their knees, ask for forgiveness, because all they can right now is their faith. They need their faith more than ever. Take America back from Israel. Said shut up money like the shut up mask. Yes, exactly. And that's another thing that I wanted to get into here too. Yep, they will continue to give you your stimulus, or look at right here. Here was the next one right here. They're going to bump this up. Okay, the food benefits, which, hey, people, I'm not saying that people don't need this stuff and that they don't need, to be able to feed their families. But the whole point is they put them in this situation. The government put these people in this situation, and now it's all, oh, look, we'll give you better food benefits, and we'll give you, stimulus payments, and just like we talked, just like the UBI, Universal Basic Income, they're just dividing it up between unemployment, stimulus checks, and then, food benefits like this. That's all the same thing. We have an echo. That's really weird. Alright, let me see if I can change this. Is there still an echo right there? Anybody who has the echo, let me know if it's still there. Bix Beta Blue said, Fortune just got deleted. Why? Well, if you read up and scroll up, I have nothing against him. I've talked to him so many times. He's actually donated to me in the past a while ago, and, I thank him for it all the time. I don't know what else I can do to please him. He's always asking me to, say all these different scriptures and do all this other stuff, and So I think that's, why that happened. Alright, here, I don't know, I didn't change anything. I didn't move or anything. This just seems like we're always getting messed with. Alright. Sorry, everybody, I don't get it. Okay, how is that now? I moved the mic around, split it up. Is that better, St. James, or do we still have the same echo? Gloria said it sounds terrible. Yeah, I know you wouldn't lie to me either. Is it any better now that I just switched that? Okay. Oh, no doubt, Gloria. Yes, I agree. It's better? Alright, cool. As long as we can just get through, you know what I mean, a little bit. Sorry about that, everyone. I didn't move or change anything, but we'll do the best that we can. A lot better, Kathy. Okay, awesome. All right, let's get back into this. This is crazy. Check this out right here. Okay, this audio, sorry, I said audio. Geez, this article came up today. I saw this. It says the UCSD researchers developing wearable CD19 test strip. And I was like, what do they mean by a test strip? So I had to start looking into it. Check this out. It says San Diego. Researchers at the UC San Diego are experimenting with new wearable test strips, which change color if they detect a CV in a person's breath or saliva. I mean, this is just so out there and just crazy to me to think. Not only that, so say you're wearing this mask, right, out in public, right, and it starts changing colors, right? And these people know about it, right? That it's, showing that they're positive. These are just more psychological, psychological warfare. You're not only going to, they're going to freak out the person wearing it, but then anybody that sees it is also going to, oh, look, he's got it, Kev, welcome in. Thank you, Jesus, welcome in. Thank you, Jesus, that I think For Truth got blocked because he made Eric nervous. Yeah, I mean, it's not that it's nervous. I just don't really know what the answer is to that. I don't know, So, but it says, the strips can be affixed to any mask and are designed to detect protein-cleaving molecules produced from an infection of the virus, the university said in its news release on Thursday. It says, while not intended to replace the CD19 testing protocols, the project's lead principal investigator, Jesse Jockerts, said they offer a, surveillance approach, similar to a smoke detector. So here you go, right? Because this is the key word here, okay? Because we know that is part of the end game. Full tracking, testing, tracing, Big Brother watching every single thing you do. It says, in many ways, masks are the perfect wearable sensor for our current world, says Jokers, the professor of nanoengineering at UC San Diego Jacobs School of Engineering. It says, we're taking that many people are already wearing and repurposing them so we can quickly and easily identify new infections and protect vulnerable communities. See, that's the thing. They are going to want you to wear these, and then so, all of a sudden they're going to change color, right? Or it's going to look different, or however it says that it works here. And then they can then, tell you can't go into a place, or you have to go to quarantine immediately, or you have to, do A, B, C, or D, whatever it is. It's just taking away more and more of your privacy, right? I mean, think about that. Now they want it out in the open. It's just, every day, it's just another thing that you see where you're losing, your rights. That's it. MC said, what a joke. Kathy H said, then why must they probe us with their brain with that nose swab? Oh, no doubt. No doubt. It's, they shoved that thing up there so far, and we had looked into that, how it hit like right at the blood-brain barrier. And, that's why I could just never allow, my family or anybody else to go and even get that test. We always talked about it. Don't get the test. Don't get, et cetera, et cetera. Don't get any of it. They did change it now, right? The test doesn't do it, I guess, as far. It doesn't go that far, into your nose, I guess, anymore. So, but still, why did it ever have to go in there like that? Bex Bit of Blue said, we're going to lose everything, just a matter of when. Yeah, you can just feel that, each time it just continues. We lose just another piece, of what you thought was your life and what was normal, right? And they keep saying, oh, well, if you go and roll up your sleeve, eventually you'll be able to get back to normal. Well, we already know that the normal that they say and the true normal is nothing, nothing alike. It says users would be able to conduct the test themselves when they take off their respective masks. It says each comes with its own blister pack that can be squeezed, changing color if this CV19 are identified according to the university. It says the strips, developed with a $1.3 million in funding from the National Institute of Health, are ideal for higher-risk settings such as homeless shelters or prisons to find infections earlier and more often to reduce potential spread. That was why I really wanted to show you. I mean, I would have probably pulled this article up anyways, but look at this. You always know where they're targeting, right? You're weak, you're elderly, you're poor, So this just fits right in perfectly. And how much more money? I mean, you just got to think about the billions with the B, if not, just so much more that has been put in to this cornholio entire situation. MC says, the new variant is attacking children. How predictable. Just in time when they flip the 5. Yep. Switch in schools. Yep, I know. I started hearing them say that, and I'm just going, they just continue to manipulate it, right? They change the symptoms over and over again. They've done this since day one. As soon as they go after one population, they get that, group of the population scared or finish their agenda on that one. Then they just switch it over and they go after the next. And we knew that it was going to come to the kids. But now if they're talking that it's in the children, right, or that it can harm them, why aren't they instantly shutting down schools, right? They're not. That's the thing. Speaker Sater said, politicians should have lie detector strips. Yes. MC said, for truth, I what gospel do you want me to preach? I mean, I'm here. I'm not, I don't want to block you. I don't do that. I guess explain what you would like me to do. I can't just read the Bible, right now, live over and over again. I don't understand what... but I would like to, hear your opinion on what you're saying. Kev said, all these tyrannical, illegal laws being put in place to get us in the gas chambers. Well, look what they're doing, above us every single day. It just, over and over again, getting sprayed. One day after another, it never changes. You just look up and you see the same exact thing happening to you, pretty much every day. When's the last time you were able to see, this, at least around here, like we might be lucky to see a clear sky maybe once every week if we are lucky. It's just, it's just crazy. All right, let's keep going. See, now this ties into... Remember last night I was talking about how they were leaving 7,000 troops back behind in D.C., okay? So they let the other ones, they sent them all off, but they were leaving the remaining 7,000 in D.C. until the end of the month, which I didn't know why, where does that lead to? What is the end of the month, But then you had this come out today. It says the National Guard soldiers ordered home by governors amid outrage over being moved to parking garage. Okay, it says the National Guard says the USCP ordered troops to move rest area, but acting chief is pushing back. It says Governor Ron DeSantis, Chris Sununu, Greg Gianforte, and Greg Abbott announced that they are bringing their National Guard troops back from D.C., okay, after reports that they were posted up in a parking garage near the Capitol to rest during their shifts. A move that caused outrage as the treatment of the service members. What stands out here is how they're talking about bringing them back into each city, right? So everybody was staring at the Capitol. Well, now they're spreading the National Guard back out, and with them still leaving 7,000 there, because this wasn't part of that 7,000. I looked into it. The 7,000 was they're still there until the end of the month. says the U.S. Capitol Police ordered the troops to move their rest area during their 12-hour shift from inside the Capitol to the Thurgood Marshall Judicial Center parking garage, the National Guard said on Friday. But the acting USCP chief, Yogananda Pittman, pushed back on that assertion in a statement. Said, I want to assure everyone, with the exception of specific times on Inauguration Day itself, while the swearing-in ceremonies were underway, the United States Capitol Police did not instruct the National Guard to vacate the Capitol building. See, and you just constantly have this, where it's one side saying, saying the one part, the other one saying the other, and it's extremely hard to ever find out what the actual truth was, in these types of situations. He says, I want to assure everyone. Oh, I just read that. That was up above. He said, he continues, it said, it was brought to our attention early today that facility management with the Thurgood Marshall Judicial Office building reached out directly to the National Guard to offer use of its facilities. They just seem like more and more distractions, how they're trying to continue to keep the National Guard in the headlines, whether there was no real rioting, at least not in D.C. or for that situation. Yes, we did have rioting and arrest out in Seattle and in a couple other places, but it was not anybody that was protesting or rioting for you could say Mr. T, or just that side is what they were trying to push so hard. And here we go again. Look at this one. Pfizer to supply 40 million CV-19 shots for poor countries. See, they are so. Well, let's pause this before we get shut down just for that. See, they're always, the elderly. That's where they wanted everybody to pull up their sleeves first, right? I mean, you had your hospital workers, etc. But now, you're getting 65 plus or 60 plus, depending on what state you're in. But now, like they said a couple days ago, the WHO coming out saying that we were morally, not doing our jobs, that it was just horrible, that we were not making sure that these right here were not getting to the ones that need it the most, which of course, right, is your poor people, poor country, poor cities, whatever it is, the weak, says Pfizer is committed to supply up to 40 million doses of this year to a global effort to get affordable shots to poor and middle income countries. It's just, did you guys see how they could take now, with the, right here, they can now, they're saying now that if you went and got your first one, say you went and got the Pfizer one first, after you got that one, now it doesn't matter. You can go and switch and get the Moderna, the second one. Does that make any sense to any of you, how you could, they're supposed to work in sequence, right? The Pfizer was supposed to have 2 or 3 jabs, right? So why would it be okay for them to then get the first dose of a Pfizer, then go and get, the Moderna or any other one of these? How could they have any of that tested? Did they test that? Because it didn't. They never said anything like that. Let's read some of this. It says CDC says patients can switch from CV, rolling up your sleeve, for the second dose in exceptional circumstances. So they're saying, they don't want everybody to do it. It says the CDC in prevention has quietly changed its recommendation. How many times are they going to change their recommendation on something? Whether it is the, who it's attacking, the symptoms, it never stops. They have always changed it and, just picked and choose which way they want this to go. It says, for the CV immunizations to allow patients to switch, authorized rolling up your sleeve between the first and second doses in exceptional situations, and to extend the interval between doses to 6 weeks, even though such changes have not been studied in large clinical trials. So how many times more do people need to be guinea pigs? Because that is exactly what this is. Over and over again, people are just taking a risk and never, I don't understand how they could do it. They never think it through, I guess, to be putting yourself, and especially now when you're talking about all the trials that are going on with the children, those are hard to cover. When I, see that information, they're extremely hard to cover. I just don't know how, you could take your child up there and say, okay, well, you don't know anything about this, but go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and try it in my child. I mean, that's child endangerment if it ever could be. It says the new guidelines were posted on the agency's website Thursday with little public notice, with the possibility of rolling up your sleeve shortages on the horizon and little exception that supply can be increased before April. The changes may offer a way to do what? Make more people roll up their sleeves, a high priority for Sleepy Joe, who outlined his national CV19 strategy Thursday. So, as we can see over and over again, it is the same story, the same plan. It hasn't changed, and it's not going to. CDC spokeswoman Kristen Norland said that the agency's intention is not to suggest people do anything different, but provide clinicians with flexibility for exceptional circumstances. Well, what are the exceptional circumstances that allows people to change like that? Him, because I'm not going to say his name, the president's special advisor for CV19 has repeatedly advised against delaying the second dose or making any other changes in rolling up your sleeve protocol without data to support them. But they're going to let them do it. The CDC is saying that you can do it. I don't understand how anybody would trust it. I mean, I guess they have the fear push so much, right, that they can, when they push that fear that much, that they're just thinking if I can get the second second jab or the second shot, then, it'll help them. It'll make them, it's just, there's no chance. You're seeing so many things that have happened when people are getting these shots. Do any of you know anybody that's got it and had any bad side effects? Kathy said it is so crazy. It really is. Yeah, mainstream media always have a cover story. Yep, exactly. Got to dig through it. For Truth, can I put a link up to that at the end of this? The Robert Breaker's video? I could put a link into it, and that would help people, get saved that way. They could, take it anytime they want. They could go and watch that video if I could put a link up for that. It says, if it's just a show. Yeah, you're right. Okay, cool. I'll do that. I'll throw it up in the description. So if anybody that's in this chat right now, you'd like to know, just on your own time, you can, to go and ask for forgiveness. I will leave that link in the description, okay? Because that's what we want, okay? Okay, yeah, I'll watch it. Yeah, for sure. Look at this, and look, how many more things are they going to come out with? These for it, right? Like over a year ago, I found one article that I was doing, and it was for acne. Rolling up your sleeve for acne. Now here you go again. Personalized skin cancer. They're doing it. It's just they've pushed this with every single narrative. It doesn't matter really what you're doing. They're trying to create this for every single situation or illness or sickness, whatever you want to say, that put you in a situation where you need to have this. It just it's always the same. It always is. Speed Crusader said after Biden got in, the virus numbers are going down and reopening things. What do you think about that? Yeah, I saw that, how they said that they felt that it's peaked, right now. But if you see this stuff happening right here, though, when they're showing this right now, I think if you just give it a minute, I think they're gonna want to say that it spiked again, so that he can really, they can push off the image that his plan worked perfectly. Okay, so I do believe that they will say that this, one type of a variant gets over to the United States, and then they can, use that from there and say, oh, it skyrocketed, but then they'll say, well, due to, Sleepy Joe's amazing, CV19 plan, we were able to, beat it. That's what I think on that, how they'll use it. Glory Mitchell said, that's okay. Military made them look like dirt for making them sleep in car parking garage last night, too. Yeah. Fortune said, music to my ears. Freedom White said, a Christian healed my wife's back. I started to give praise to God, and boom, there it was. Amen. That's awesome. Taking back America, or take America back from Israel, sorry. Said, it's a miracle. MC said, wife's friend got it. She's a psych doctor and said all her coworkers are getting really sick. See, you know, and you are seeing even other countries, like, I have a video put together for BitChute, the one I was talking about yesterday. I've added stuff to it now that I realize that I don't have to censor it, you know, over there. And it's the reports that are coming out of people being 6 feet under and actually that being on their death certificate. So, you know, there's definitely countries that are coming out to do this, you know. Kathy said, the Brookings Institution has an article on payments for those who get jabbed. I got an email saying that they would, you know, pay us, you know, pay you $1,200 if you wanted to go and get the jab done and tell them your results, you know, or tell them your side effects. If it just echoed for a second, don't worry, I had to stand up for 2 seconds to get a charger. So hopefully the echo doesn't come and do that. Plugging it in here real quick, or I won't be able to see your comments or, you know, the chat at all. Multiple screens up. MC said, coworkers getting sick after the second one. Scared her from getting the second. Okay, so she didn't. So hopefully she's not going to go and get the second one. That's good. You know, and that's like with my grandma, like I was telling you about how she, you know, she got the first one and now she was talking about how in a couple weeks she's got to go get the second one. And she said that they literally told her that expect to have more side effects from the second one. And I said, well, what did they say? That it was, you know, going to be stronger? And she said, no. They said, but the two in your system at the same time makes it, you know, double potent or whatever it is once they interact with each other, which, you know, raises the risk of, you know, side effects, bad side effects. And I'm just like, I'm just looking at her. Why is that worth it, you know, to go and do that? You know, if you have any of your family, I'm sure you're going through it. If you're having family that's decided to go and do this, you know, so I know you're going right through it with me. St. James said, using people as lab rats. Yep, guinea pigs. Oh, yep, lab rats. Yep. Thank you, Jesus said, my cousin is 71, supposedly died of CD. Did they, what was he, how did he die, actually, do you believe, you know, if I can ask? Because you're seeing that so much. You know, you've seen reports, I don't know if they're true, but like how doctors are getting X amount of money if they do, you know, put that on the death certificate. I don't have that confirmed. I've just seen other channels talk about it, and I've seen, you know, it brought up a couple times. Moto J81, welcome in. Haven't talked to you in a little while. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, Jesus said, I think he died of something else in the Crooked Hospital. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. You know, it's like any time that they have like that chance, right, that opening to be able to use it, you know, say it was FLU, you know, severe death or pneumonia or any of those type of things. It's just perfect, right, them to be able to use it, you know, like you said, change it at the end, you know. I mean, and when you're seeing how the CDC put out 975 total cases of the FLU this year, down from 45 million on average, I would say that, yeah, they're probably using one type of, you know, putting people 6 feet under for another thing. So that's just, that's pretty obvious, I believe, to you and I at this point. Thank you, Jesus said, I think he had the FLU and put him on a respirator. I'm sorry for your, I mean, it's just, you just hear so much of that. And like you're in your position, you have no idea, you know, really what happened. You know, they are responsible, you know. Exactly, right there. Yeah, they killed him. Yes, in his obituary, they put CD1 in all caps. Wow. That is just, yep. You know, and how many more people have, you know, have stories just like that? You know? MC said, best part of the VX is it doesn't even prevent the spread or transmission according to the VX companies. Yes, that's 100% right. There was multiple articles that I covered on that. They just kept saying that the one thing that they were almost positive that they could, you know, say is that it would lessen your symptoms to a less serious, you know, degree. So you wouldn't die from it. But just like you said, it's not stopping any any of the spread, like they're saying that it is. Okay, that goes back to the germ theory, which just doesn't add up. But here, I just want to read a little bit for you. This is from yesterday. This is the personalized skin cancer rolling up your sleeve demonstrates long-term effectiveness. New research published in the journal Nature is outlining the long-term efficacy of a novel type of cancer rolling up your sleeve. It said the research followed 8 skin cancer patients and discovered the experimental treatment offers durable and persistent immune responses to cancer cells up to 4 years later. So they're saying you could take this and it could help you for 4 years. I don't know if they're saying that it can completely cure the cancer. What they've let's see if it says how far it's gone. It says the type of personalized cancer rolling up your sleeve being studied is in the new research focused on neoantigens. It says muted molecules found only on the surface of cancer cells to create this personalized to the individual patient. The researchers used blood and tumor samples to create a highly specific, customized treatment that helps the immune system target and destroy the tumors. And like with stuff like this, you wish that they would, heal cancer, and look at all the autism rates and everything, Alzheimer's, all of them. With the technology that we have continued to get better and better and better, yet we are going backwards in so many of those areas. Now, that's not a coincidence. Obviously, something is we're not being told correctly. I think it just to stay away from sugar and flour as it creates cancer. Yeah, sugar, that was one that I love sugar, obviously, most, at a younger age did, but I saw that probably about 5 years ago, something like that, them talking about how bad sugar was in general. And we definitely got rid of as much as we could, especially for my son as well too. Thank you, just said, I'm trying to find out if he was saved or wound up in hell. I am not close to that side of the family. Well, let's just pray that he was saved. All right, thank you, Jesus said, I have to run now. No problem. We'll hope to see you again. Thank you for sharing that story too. Moto J said, I met a guy today who thinks Trump is coming back to power on March 3rd. I highly, highly, highly doubt that, but in this world, would we really, if it did happen, would we be surprised? I know I wouldn't. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't either. That's just how chaotic and insane this world is. Fortrue said, soda pop is Satan's killer too. Oh man, especially like Coke, can of Coke. That stuff is just, I've used it to clean battery terminals, and it's just unbelievable what's in that, and it's a great point too with the pop, because it's not just them spraying above us. It's not just the water that we drink. It's one of the main things is your food, just what they put in it these days. It's just all the preservatives and chemicals and Fortrue said Trump signed the Insurrection Act and is still in power. I saw some people talking about that he signed the Insurrection Act. I just didn't see any other follow-up, to that. He definitely could have, though. Says, Trump worshiper, look, I'd rather Trump paradigm in office than Biden, but two wings the same disease bird. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, this is all, they're never, completely... not working together. It's that's why we're always saying, right, it's should be you and I against government, that or at least the ones that are pushing all this evil, as we have this obvious battle of good versus evil, and it seems like it's just building and building and building. Moto J said, I truly wish people would wake up to the false paradigm to the left versus the right. Yep, left, right, vax, anti-vax, it doesn't matter, black, white, just the division is what I'm getting at. Mask, anti-mask, whatever it is, they continue to push it, to divide us, to keep us weak. Fortune said they were playing their part to usher in the Antichrist. Yeah, you know, and you see all of the, like, every time they do something, you know, type of a ceremony, right, it's so obvious that it's a ritual, you know, a satanic ritual, and they're not even trying to hide it anymore. I actually found out what I got one of my strikes on this channel for. I didn't know what part it was in the video that got it. It was actually, if you remember, when I showed the opening scenes of the London Olympics. Remember where they just had all the nurses like pushing around the beds, and then they had this creepy creature, you know, with there was kids in the beds, and I finally found out I had to go to copyright school, and that was the clip that, you know, got me a strike and kept me down for 2 weeks. So it's just crazy, you know. Those rituals are worse and worse. If you ever have seen the Gothard Tunnel opening, that was the most. Yeah, you really shouldn't even probably watch it. It was that that satanic, that evil. It was bad. It was really, really bad. Take America Back from Israel said Farmer Gates, Dr. Gates, GMO, yep, what a guy, yep. You know, he's bought up so much farmland. You know, they use all these different natural disasters, right? You know, all your hurricanes and all your derechos, all your flooding and tornadoes and wildfires and everything else, right? But they're all natural according to them. And then it just happens that, you know, probably more than 50% or more of the time, and I've seen this in multiple situations, where you're not allowed to rebuild. Even if you have insurance on your home and it covered it, you can't build back in that spot. They say it's unsafe, like if you're on a coastline or if you're up in the mountains, right? Like the city of, you know, Paradise, stuff like that, where they're pushing you, you know, not allowing you to go back there. You know, with the fires, the wildfires, they talk about how the chemicals get down into the groundwater, so then you can't go back there. They're just perfect ways for them to push you out of these areas. Welcome in, Chad. Said, brace yourself, brothers and sisters. Next 100 days, yep, pulling up your sleeve, pushing, yep, going to get ugly. We are all going to see the effects. Yep, you know, that's what he said, too. He's been pushing that, right? 100 days, first 100 days. Here, let's read this. I wanted to see, because now we have another, okay, well, there's like 4 or 5 variants that I know of, okay, that they've been talking about. And this says France death toll surpasses 72,000. Okay. Brazil variant found in Germany as it happened. And this is just fear. You know, they're trying to push. People were starting to back off of, you know, CD. They were starting to realize that the risk and the reward just did not add up. So they had to change something. And how they did it was coming out with these mutant, you know, they haven't said that, but like the first 4 or 5 days it was, you know, they just kept putting that word up there, mutant strains, you know, just trying to push that into people's, you know, psychologically into their heads, you know. It says AstraZeneca blames production glitch for delivery shortfall. Yeah, because they haven't got enough into the people. You know, I have a funny feeling too that they've gotten a lot, that maybe they have already gotten all of the jabs into people. They keep saying that they, you know, that they're missing them, or they still have them, they haven't given them. You know, it would make more sense to me that they've already given out all these jabs, and they're just trying to push it even harder. You know, this is just a way for them to push it, you know, push more, you know, push it faster, you know, etc., etc. Israel CV chiefs claim single roll-up-your-sleeve jab less effective and inaccurate. Well, you know, this is why we say just go do your own research. I mean, just a headline like that when you're talking about how it's less effective, it's inaccurate, but people still are going to take their families up, take their children up, and allow them to put this in them, you know. Germany's lockdown to continue despite drop in infection rates. Yeah, see, this, it's just crazy how no matter which way, where you're at in the world, almost to a key, everything kind of goes the same, right? We're starting to drop. That's what they just said yesterday for United States. Oh, we're just starting to, you know, we've reached the peak and we're going, you know, we're starting to go down. And then you see countries like this. Oh, they're dropping. I saw like 2 other ones. Those are dropping. The next one's dropping, you know. And like I said, I do believe that they will use that and say that you know, that mutant strain gets to these areas, and it'll, you know, the number will go up so that they can continue to use that agenda, you know. St. James said, I always thought Obama was the Antichrist with his sidekick, Pig Mike. Yeah, I remember watching so many movies on, videos on that. That seems like so long ago. For Drew said, prayerfully the rapture will happen soon. Gotta go. No problem. Thanks for truth. I will put that up in the description, okay? You have a good day. Gloria said, St. James, I agree. I believe Obama is the Antichrist too. Always have. Yeah, he's definitely sticking around, isn't he? He like most other presidents, he's definitely still likes to be in the limelight and always, yeah, so definitely could make sense. Here, I want to look into these lockdowns because they're still happening, or they've already, they were already put in and they're just not. Like right here, we talked about this, right? Oh, it's going to be a 14-day lockdown, right? Don't worry about it. It's a 14-day lockdown. You don't have to worry. After that, you're going to be able to get out, do what you got to do, and you can have your so-called normal life back. But then this is all they do. They just extend it. Even though it's saying that it's getting better, the infection rate's going down, oh, they're not going to take the lockdown off. Nope. Can't do it. Germany's health minister, Jens Spahn, has called for an understanding of a continuation of a harsh lockdown conditions in Germany, saying they were necessary to prevent a considerable worsening of the current situation despite a slowdown in the rate of infections. How nice that they can say that about when they're putting us through it, right? These harsh lockdowns and, they were necessary, right? Because they're always trying to prevent or protect you, right? It's always what it's about. It's for your own good. Yeah, right. Germany's death toll rose to over 51,000 on Thursday, having been increasing at an average of 1,000 deaths a day for several weeks. That's all you've heard in the United States, too, is this, every single day, how many are dying. But always remember, like I pulled up that article and showed you, 45 million cases of the flu are pretty much missing, and 65,000 deaths are missing, okay? And 64,000, right? Because they had almost 1,000 deaths. MC said, I thought Obama for a while too, then not. Now I'm wondering again. He has the personality for it, but would he be accepted as a Muslim Messiah? Not sure. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but I wouldn't. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, nothing can surprise you these days. It's just the truth. Yeah, that's right. Dangling the carrot on the end of the stick. Yep, just 2 weeks. It's just a 2-week lockdown. Don't worry about it. He told a press conference flanked by the head of the Government Disease Control Agency, the country's leading CV virologist, and the head of intensive care medicine, that the measures would have to remain in place until at least the end of February or into March. Isn't that, those people over there, and this isn't just in Germany, you're seeing these type of things happen everywhere, and it's, that's why I always feel like, you remember the first time when it all come around, it went China, Japan, Italy, it kind of like, not so much circled, but it came across that way, and then it hit us, and what I'm getting at is each place kind of followed the same thing. Eventually, everybody went on the same type of lockdown, they did the same type of stuff with, rolling up your sleeves, pushing for that, the mask, the testing, you can just see how this is so much bigger than whatever country you live in. Don't get caught up in that. Yeah, we have to talk about each individual, but we have to realize that it's not these individual countries. It's so much bigger. You're witnessing a takeover. Said he cited the dangers of the mutations first detected in England, South Africa, and Brazil as being a factor behind the decision. And they don't have to give you. They don't have to really give you why they did it, right? They just give you something like this and say, "Yep. We made the decision, our scientists, you need to trust our scientists because they know what they're doing. Don't think for yourself." Just like the article that Forbes put out and said literally that exact thing. That it was dangerous to think on your own in this situation that we live in right now, that you must trust the scientist, and that is it. Because if you don't, and you are thinking on your own and trying to figure stuff up on your own, you will cause more deaths and more hurt. That was directly out of Forbes. Just, I couldn't believe that article when I saw that day. That was probably 6 months ago. Just checking the chat. MC said, that would make it interesting. There is an Osiris resurrection chamber under the Capitol. They're waiting for the last Osiris to stick him in for the resurrection, a.k.a. when AC gets deadly head wound. Moto J said, has anyone here listened to Peggy Hall, the Healthy American? She lays things out very well. Actual laws and not wearing a face diaper. No, I haven't heard of her, but I'd like to look into it. Any like-minded people. That's it's amazing. The more that we could stick together, right? Yeah, a couple people have. Awesome. Take America Back from Israel said, woman will take the USA back. Is that what that's? W-O. Wowman? I don't know if it's typed wrong or what. See, you've all heard of Peggy Hall. That's awesome. It's like all the channels that I used to watch, a lot of them are either gone or I just don't have the time anymore to watch them. When you're doing your own videos all the time, that is the one thing that I don't, I still try to jump on to like Mike's, late at night because he does the weather and everything, and I absolutely love the weather and just everything about it. So I can try to catch that one, but most of the time I just can't. I just don't. I don't see. Another thing too, I don't get the alerts. I don't, even though the bells have been clicked a million times. I've subbed. I've been unsubbed from so many of them. I've been, my notifications are gone, etc., etc. So even if I had a chance to watch them, I'm not getting told that it's coming like it should be telling us. It says, they go on. They say that the numbers of the last few days are encouraging. They're going in the right direction. The infection rate is sinking. We're seeing the first easing on intensive care wards, but it's still a considerable burden with very many CV19 patients in the intensive care wards and in the hospital. But the numbers are still too high because they create what's too high. They make that decision. And what we need to do is collectively use the intensified measures. Despite the many hardships they will bring with them. That when you see them talking like that, that's very blatant, saying that they're going to do whatever they want to do, and we don't have to explain ourselves to you. He said so that they want to keep going. It says to continue and suppress the numbers so that the virus is controllable. Well, you're controlling it because it's not what you say it is, and you're just using it to control so many of the masses. It says for months now, Germany's CB rate has been too high to enable contact tracing, which Spahn said is a crucial tool for being able to control the disease. Now that's a really good thing. I'm glad that was in this article because you had Sleepy Joe's administration coming out saying the same exact thing, that with his plan, with his CD plan, right, that he's putting into effect here in just a little while. That was one of the major points that he kept saying we have to do. We got to get enough, of the jabs in these areas. That we have to do that so that we will be able to do the tracing and tracking. They kept saying, with Mr. T in there and that whole administration, the tracking and tracing was almost impossible. But we, aim to fix that. So once again, they're telling you how they want to track, trace to just a ridiculous amount. And if you live in a smaller town like I do, it just doesn't make any sense that anybody would believe that their tracing method is correct. Because remember at the beginning you only had to be around somebody for 15 minutes straight. Then they changed it to 15 minutes over 24 hours, and they just kept changing it like that. Okay, but then the testing and the tracking. They said, oh, well, it's this, we're going to see where that person goes. Then whoever they got. So if he came in contact with 5 people, those 5 then came in contact with 5 more, etc., etc. In a town my size, that takes maybe a week. Maybe. Everything's connected. So that the way that they say they still have to go and contact trace and do this makes absolutely no sense. You have people flying all across the country, all across the world. It would be spreading like wildfire. MC said, next executive order, critical thinkers get life in prison. Oh, yeah, well, we are the domestic TER, that word right there. MC said, Australia is the new world, NWO proving grounds. They are super authoritarian and regulated. Checkpoints and mandatory crap. Yeah, Australia, unbelievable. Australia and New Zealand, right? Those two, yeah, you are right. They are massively controlled the way it's... they're on a whole nother level. It's like their lockdowns seem to have never ended. If they did, it barely did, and they were watching everything that you did over there. Going to the grocery store, you could only go within so many miles of your home, and it just keeps building and building. The UK also too, St. James, yeah, good call. Yeah, Boris Johnson up there, right, all the time talking about that. Timothy, welcome in. I'm doing good. How are you? Chad W said, I was with an ICU nurse for 7 years. The ICU was always full during winter. Absolutely nothing new is going on besides the propaganda. Yeah, exactly. During this time, everybody gets sick, right? You have pneumonia, you have FLU, etc., etc. They always were busy. There's nothing new, there's nothing new under the sun, right, as they say. And, I completely agree with you. And you've had people that have gone to these hospitals at the beginning. Remember, everybody was filming them, and then you just had it happen again not too long ago. And they went after a lot of those people. That's why, you don't see as many people going to these hospitals trying to record. Timothy said, did I see the edible? No. Oh, I gotta look that up. I've seen like the micro needles, like 400 little micro needles that, put the, rolling up your sleeve into you so much easier. But I gotta see this. If we can find something, quick enough. Oh yeah, wow. Oh my gosh. It looks like they've been around for a long time, huh? Let's see, this is the newest one. Some scientists believe that the VACCINES could be produced in edible plants such as bananas or potatoes, which would then provide the delivery vehicle. This approach would yield VACCINES that are needle-free and require no adjuvants, chemicals that stimulate the immune response. When the plant is ingested, the plant cell walls would protect the VACCINE antigens from degradation by stomach acid and digestive enzymes. Then, in the intestine, the antigens would be released and transported into the circulatory system. Edible, those would stimulate both the mucosal and systemic immunity, providing a higher level of protection than traditional those. It seems no matter what, they have to figure out a way for the chemicals to get, into our bodies. Thank you on that, Tim. I had never, ever seen that. That's, but like we say, it's nothing that we have to be shocked about, not these days, ever. Speed Crusader said, day 308 of 15-day lockdown. Yes, exactly. I mean, it's not funny, but yes, you are 100% right. Oh, it's only going to be 2 weeks. Oh, we're just going to extend it another week. Oh, we'll just go one more week. It's like, and people just sit back and, allow it to happen. Speaking of these edible plants, the green, like the burgers made out of plants, that's so just, I just don't believe that. Do you all believe that that's what those, remember they had the Whopper and they have all these other ones now, they're made out of, supposedly made out of plants. I'd like to see what you think about that, because I think I don't believe it. And the one thing that it reminds me of is Soylent Green. And I mean, that's crazy. If you haven't seen that movie, it's probably worth checking out. It's crazy, you end up it being cannibalism, where they're, anybody that died, they're feeding them to you and you have absolutely no idea, Mm-hmm. St. James said gummy word edible. Wow. They put it, it's kind of like, you have all your THC and the marijuana, that's like the same type of stuff, how they're putting that in everything. So, of course, I'm sure they will use, that whatever way they can use to get these into everybody. Chad W. said, thank God my 74-year-old mother is aware and trying to share info to keep her friends from getting the jab. We are all in this. Keep up the fight, everyone. That's awesome, Chad, that you were able to make sure that she didn't go. I tried everything I could to get my grandma, not to do that. And so that's awesome that you were able to do that. I had a couple other articles that I wanted to pull up, but they crashed when I pulled it up, so I'm going to see if I can find these other ones. If you got something else you want me to throw up here and look into, no doubt I'll do it. What did this say? 100% biofuel by 2030. Yeah, and speaking of this type of stuff, I really do expect the gas prices to go up, and, if they're really going to stop all the fracking, right, or whatever it is, I just don't see it staying where it was. It's already gone up probably about 40 cents here since the last week, so, it's definitely happening. Timothy said, I worked at Taco Bell when I was 16, told me, don't eat the meat because it's a couple grades higher than dog food. Wow. More hacking. I can't find it, of course. They're talking about that, that variant being more deadly. I don't know where I had it. It might have been on this page on Zero Hedge. Huh. It was really good, too. Darn. Okay. Chad W. said, thanks. Unfortunately, my young niece, Air Force nurse, took it. I tried my best. Yeah, that's all you can do is try your best. You stopped, a few, just like that's what we hope to do. You can't save them all. You can't save somebody who doesn't want to be saved. And probably in her situation, she just, they're in the government and they're in the military. And so, they see things a little bit different, that we do on the other side. St. James said the Big Macs have a shelf life of 20 years. That's crazy. I've seen, the French fry. Everybody's probably had that where you, clean your car and you had a French fry that's been in there for, 2 years and it still looks just like a French fry. It's nuts. Kumpambuza Fura. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I don't want to mispronounce it. But said Hank Aaron died recently after being... Oh, I didn't know that. I did see that he just died. I'm sure it won't say anything about that right here, what you're saying, but I bet you, I'm not doubting that. Yeah, it says 86, so he died at 86. Yeah, they probably will not allow anyone to see that link, at least never in the mainstream, right? Just glancing through this right now to see if it, it's not gonna say anything. Oh, here's Obama again. Look at, he never missed an opportunity to lead. Former President Barack Obama said, describing Aaron as an unassuming man who set a towering example. See, we were right. Oh, check this out. It does say it. Just 2.5 weeks before his death Friday at age 86, Aaron joined civil rights icons to receive the CV-19 rolling up your sleeve. He wanted to spread the word to the black community that the shots were safe in the midst of a devastating pandemic. Wow. That is that's crazy. That's I wish more people could see that story and hear it that way. You're not going to a mainstream, they're just going to say that he died, right? But seeing that right there, that's so telling. I wish more people could see that. Now, would it do any good? I don't know. They seem to sometimes be so stuck in the ways, Take America Back from Israel said, want us to eat GMO, soy, and bugs, and lab meat. Oh, yeah, they've been making that lab meat, meat in the labs for so long. It's so just, ugh, wow, right? Now, thank you for that. I did not know that. That's crazy. Gloria Mitchell said, yes, so sad. Hank gone. I love that man since I was a little kid. Yeah, amazing person, for sure. Player, person, yes. Chad W. said, see, they put it right in our faces. Yep. Could, maybe, probably hurt you, yet they still line up for it. So confusing. You're so right. They throw it in your face. They do it secretly, like they do in those articles, where they just put a little bit in it. But then they'll come right out and tell you, just like you said. And still, that's not enough for people to say, to see it. It's like they just gloat. They mock us. They're like, ha ha ha, look. That's why they love their terminology, their numbers, They just love doing that, laughing at us behind, Speaker Sater said, ever see the pesticides they use on McDonald's French fries? No, but I can't imagine how horrible that would be. Gloria said, I collected baseball cards all my younger years. Yeah, that's awesome. I did too. My son, actually, that was one of the gifts he wanted. I got him a book, a big book to put his cards in that he had been, that he had been getting. And so that was really cool because they don't do that very much anymore. It's really gone. Everything's digital. Everything's on video games. So it was really cool that he wanted to do that. I had a bunch of cards that I had put up, a bunch of hockey, because I played hockey. So I had hockey cards up for him from years, the 80s. And he, wanted to put them together and put them all in the book. So that was good, It's always nice to see that instead of everything being digital, everything being on your phones, tablets, TVs. St. James said most people are so brainwashed, no doubt, so deceived, right? I mean, they talk about how deep the deception is, But to you and I, and to all of us that are awake, the veil has lifted. They're not able to hide like they used to, or get away with the things that they used to. Now, hence, that's backfiring on us a little bit because of how they're censoring us. But hey, that means that we're doing something right. Obviously, what we're talking about must be partially true, right? Or why would they be wasting any of their time on people like me or anybody else, trying to shut them down and do the types of things that they're doing, right? Timothy said, Eric, Gil Bates wants to block out the sun, Forbes article. I saw that. I pulled that up a little bit ago. Let's do that again. And he also wants to, vax the entire world. He wants to the list just goes on and on and on. Oh yeah, look at Pandemic 1, Pandemic 2, remember how he was already talking about, I call this, what he's talking about, CV, Pandemic 1, but we're prepared, we need to be prepared for Pandemic 2. Yeah, so it's so random, right? Or maybe do you think it's a planned situation that's been planned for decades and decades and decades, right? Let's see this. Oh yeah, and when it comes to this right here, right? They went back into the Paris Agreement, okay, which is all about this, and that was one of the first executive orders that Sleepy Joe signed. And times like that is the one that I just cannot stand, how they blame everything on that when we know it's weather warfare, we know what they're doing. You know what else I like too? They're talking about this right here, and then they just show these in the background, right? But you remember how long we were just a bunch of idiots when we said they were spraying chemicals out, out those planes? For years and years and years, we were so stupid that, oh, that's just water vapor. No, it's not. Here, let's see if I can find the Forbes. There it is, right here. We are free TV. They haven't really censored us yet. Oh, yeah. If you're saying that it's going to go to a whole nother level, yeah, you're 100% right. I mean, we're getting censored, no doubt. I mean, a lot of channels have been taken down, but yeah, we haven't got even started to how much we're going to be censored. Yeah, I agree. Any reports on the people who have had their second dose now? Nothing that stood out bad. I saw they showed some famous people after getting their second dose. I don't know how I should type that in. Kathy H said, Yahweh is my light and my deliverance. Whom should I fear? Yahweh is the refuge of my life. Who should I dread? I like that. Yep. We Are Free TV said, yeah, a whole new level. Yep. Oh, I see it coming too. So do I. Yeah, no doubt. Here, let me look up that second. After receiving second dose of vax. Let's see if just that broad we can pull something up. Officials say this is from 3 hours ago. Officials say the first dose of CV19 sets up timely. Second, so you gotta have that second one. Of course, they're gonna say that, and you've already heard them saying how this is gonna be a yearly thing. This is most likely it's just gonna be something that we deal with every single year. Let's see if a second dose can be given 6 weeks later. Biden's ambitious plan will take time. Oh, look, the New Jersey residents say they're concerned they won't get the needed second dose. Yeah, come on now. That's, those are just mainstream media, fake stories to me. Oh, people are begging, they don't have it, they want to get it so bad. Yeah, there's nothing popping out. I can do some research on it and see, because there's in other countries, there's some countries that have not held back, that they've released information, and I would imagine that there's plenty that was adverse effects. Speed Crusader said, check out McDonald's fries video. I don't know if I can pull that up on here or not, because, I might get copyrighted or, something. Moto J said, anyone know the latest on the next stimulus check dangling carrot? Yeah, here, look at this. This is what I talked about it for a little bit at the beginning. Look at, they're saying that it might take a while, and now they backed down from the 2,000 to 1,400, because he's saying that the 600 that people supposedly were supposed to get adds up to the 1,400. Okay, but now they're even saying that this is going to have to wait. Look at this. Don't look for it anytime soon. So this was talking about late February, early March. So who knows? And when they're backing off of this, it could be, they'll drag it out. They're going to drag it out. We Are Free G said, people are waking up. Yes, a lot are. Yeah. Chad W said they are pushing a new $1 trillion package. So it looks likely. Yeah, oh yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think you'll definitely get the 14. They'll definitely send it out. How long will they drag it out? That's the question. They have full control now, pretty much. So they should be able to pass it, right? But I guess it's actually Democrats going against Democrats now, like AOC. She's saying that this is ridiculous that they said 2,000. So they're just going to fight back and forth that way. It's always for your own benefit, your own good, right? But they're just going to drag these things out for months. Speed Crusader said, I live right next to the O'Hare Airport, see 2 planes at the same height, 1 contrails, 1 chem. Sometimes there is no trails, but thousands of planes. There is no spraying that day, clear blue skies. Yeah, how many times do you wake up and you have a beautiful blue sky, like at, say, 7, 8 in the morning, and then you see, like, the first plane go over, and literally within an hour or two, it is overcast, stays overcast for that entire day, maybe even longer, depending on how much they spray. Yeah, I just those days are horrible. You just wake up, you see just a perfect sky, and then it's just gone. And you just sit there and dump all that, aluminum, barium, strontium, and whatever else is in there as well. Gloria said they can give my my bags to Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, mine too. I think we all could, right? She's something else for sure. Moto J said Bill can have mine too. Yep. Timothy said Ohio just passed another bill to purchase 2 million at-home CV tests, $50 million investment. This is just, it's ridiculous hearing those numbers. They're also doing this, Tim. This was at the beginning of the beginning of the video. Look at this testing type thing. They're saying they have a developing wearable test strip. Look at that. It's going to go in here, and it can, when you breathe into it, it can tell you if you're positive or not. So it's nuts. He said, I got some research on them dropping Morgellons nanofibers from the planes. Yeah, they drop so much, I can't even imagine what is all in it. You're breathing that in. Like, around my dad's house has 10 acres, and I'm not kidding. It was probably like 70% pines, healthy pines. There's maybe 20% left that's healthy. The rest are not just brown. They're gone. They're just the wood, nothing else. And you're seeing this drastically everywhere, but yet, they don't stop. Chad W. said, I'm extremely allergic to anything not directly from Christ. Amen. Moto J said, don't ever let them stick a swab in your face. Nope. Or up your nose, right? All the way to the brain barrier. That was just insane. I don't even know how anybody could even, let it do that, Man. Let's go back to this. This is what... Here we go. Venture aims to spray dust into the atmosphere to block the sun. This is a newer one too, okay? You know, we've seen this because they've had this type of stuff out for a long time. They've showed us the plan about this, you know. Back in like 2017, Harvard did that study on it, talking about, you know, blocking it out to cool the Earth down, right? Oh man, what could go wrong? Yeah, how about everything? The billionaire founder is financially backing the development of sun-dimming technology that would potentially reflect sunlight out of Earth's atmosphere, triggering a global cooling effect. The stratospheric controlled perturbation experiment launched by Harvard University, there's Harvard again, scientists aims to examine this solution by spraying a non-toxic, yeah right, calcium carbonate dust into the atmosphere, a sun-reflecting aerosol that may offset the effects of this lie. Complete lie, okay? That's just, and what do you know? He's backing something else, right? How many $100 million did he put into, you know, just the research supposedly on CV19? You know, building that, pulling up your sleeve, and everything else that he's put money into, and, you know, backed him. Everything that you can look into him and what he's backed, it shows you exactly the plans, you know, NWO plans and complete takeover. You just see it, you know. That is just crazy. You know, but we were all nuts to think that this could have possibly happened, right? Wow, not good about the pines. Yeah, it's just crazy. We Are Free TV said you obviously aren't alone. Amen. St. James said there's a video where the woman takes apart one of the nose swabs and those same fibers are in the swab. They were alive. Oh man, cannot even imagine. That's why we just stay away from it, right? Completely. Plant-powered muscle set. Who thinks it's possible that ANTIFA calls for Sleepy Joe to step down and Kamala will be president? You know, I don't know if they'll do it that way, but, you know, they could use the 25th Amendment, say that he, you know, can't remember his name, can't remember what he's doing, right? He's not, you know, physically, mentally fit to do it. Then she would get it. You know, because, yeah, to me it looks like he's just a talking head. He's absolutely, you know what I mean, the strings that are getting pulled behind him, he is just seriously, he just gets up there, tries not to say the wrong thing, tries not to talk about, you know, not remembering this or remembering that, you know. Gloria Mitchell said, if they tried to stick a swab in my face, I have 5 knuckles to stick back at them. There you go. Don't let them anywhere near you, right? Charles Lieber and Frank Plummer correlation links are in the Dropbox link. I'll check that out after this. Speed Crusader said the whole day is clear skies. Even their thousands of planes going over show some days spray, some days not spray. Yeah, exactly. That's so true. Like, you know, you have a perfectly blue sky day. You still have the planes flying over, just like you're saying. So, common sense, obvious, is something's different coming out of the planes, right? You know, but people, seriously, they just don't see that. You know, it took us 10 years to even get people to, you know, think that there was any truth to it. You know, especially when 2017, when Harvard finally come out and said they were doing it. You know, still though, then they couldn't. You know, they still didn't want to really admit that it had been happening. You know, they can never, anybody that sticks to these types of situations like the CV situation, they can never admit they're wrong. You know, even though whatever gets proved to prove that what they thought, you know, wasn't true, that they were lying to them, it doesn't matter. They don't back down. They still will never admit it. It's crazy that deception is, it's not only being deceived, but it's they literally will fight back for that situation, for that deception. It's you know, to a whole nother level. Kamala got like 1% of the Democratic votes. Now she's in charge. Jeez. Chad W. said, learned that the other day. Timothy said, should work. Let me know if it doesn't. I'll figure out another way to get it in here. Yeah, it's not showing. That's what I was just going to say, Chad. I can't see it. Like, they don't. It's crazy. I can't see anything. Like, I put it where the links can be put right into the chat. Those, I've changed it 3 times, but still, you still can't, you know, do it. At least I don't think you can, you know. Speed Crusader said the mask is the new tinfoil hat. Yeah, for sure. Everybody's wearing them too, right? Well, except for us. We're not doing it, but still. I wanted to find that other article, but I don't know where it went. I think it was on this right here on Zero Hedge, but Oh, look at this. Promises made, promises broken. Biden now says nothing we can do to change the pandemic trajectory. Unbelievable, right? Because like, what did he say when he got in there? He was going to take over everything. He was going to make it so much better, and he was going to control the virus. So now, if he's coming out saying, there's nothing we can do to change the trajectory of the pandemic in the next several months, oh yeah, so that's how they'll push it. They just can't take care of it in a few months. It'll take years to do it. So that's why you saw the stories coming out saying, plan on, even if everyone gets, goes and rolls up their sleeve and you actually get herd immunity, okay? They've already said, you're still going to be wearing masks. You're still going to be social distancing. They've said that well into 2022. They've already said this in mainstream, We Are Freedy says UBI is coming soon. AI takeover. Yeah, UBI is universal basic income that's how they're doing, like with your stimulus, unemployment, giving more food stamps, all this different stuff. That's just pretty much the same exact thing. As long as you stay home, obey us, don't cause any problems. We'll give you a little bit of money. Just don't bug us. Stay in line. Right to the slaughter. Right. That's what they want. Jeremy Turner said, did you hear the Q bit about March 4th or whatever? Shaking my head. No, I haven't. I never really followed that. I just didn't have time to follow it. But no, I have not heard that. There's just so many things like that. Somebody else said something about Mr. T coming back on March 3rd. So there's so much. Wow. That's nuts. And yesterday on the radio they were talking about Joe, and I guess that, he's supposed to be a Catholic, okay, so he believes in God and, all that, but he's now come out and said that he supports abortion. Not only that, he has now put a transgender into the highest position in the health sector in his administration. That's what I'm always talking about, how they pick and choose. He can't be one and then say that, support those, but people don't. They're just deceived, and they don't hold him accountable for those things. Moto J said, yep, Jeremy, I heard about it earlier today. I wish people would stop drinking the Kool-Aid. Yeah. Moto J said, gotta make a phone call. Awesome, you have a good night. Thank you for joining in. Gloria Mitchell said, Eric, when a person has more money than they have sense, you can do anything you want, I suppose. Yeah. Oh, no doubt he has more than sense. More money than sense, right? Oh, Mr. Genius, We Are Free TV said, yeah, he supports eugenics, says everything. Yeah, yes, it does. Speed Crusader said, be a good prisoner. Yep. Just sit there, don't cause any problems. So now we need to be deprogrammed, though, they said, right? Anybody that, wants their constitutional rights, pretty much. You need to be deprogrammed and then possibly sent to a re-education camp. That's just... Oh, look at this. These are those Walmarts. One of my subs, or a couple of them, might have actually talked about it at the same time. But, here, let me see if I can find this. Here we go. Look at all these different Walmarts that they closed just for a few days, okay? Look at this. It says, one Gulfport Walmart closing Saturday for deep cleaning. Okay, these all happen within a couple days of each other. Here, I'll show you. I'll just click through them real quick. Say January 8th. Okay, there's that one. Another one. Walmart in Reduso Downs temporarily closes to clean and restock on the 18th. Okay? I'm pretty sure these are all different. All these ones, I double-checked them. I'm almost positive. Every single one of them is too much. This one says, when it comes up, but I can see it here, Walmart in Wasilla to close the weekend for cleaning and sanitizing. Another one. Okay? something just stands out to this. Well, number one, it reminds you, doesn't it, everybody, when you see something like this, it reminds me of the 6 that closed for plumbing issues, right? And then one of those buildings did what? Oh, it got turned into a detention center, just like we said it did. That one in Brownsville, Texas. So, it says Huntington Beach Walmart is one of 3 temporarily closed for cleaning. And you want to know what's ironic about this? I don't know about in your area, but our Walmarts, none of them stay open later than 10 o'clock. So why would they not have from 10 till 7 a.m. to do the cleaning? Why would they need to shut down the entire thing? Are there Walmarts that are 24 hours in your areas? We Are Free TV said, I hear Walmart is a government-run agency. Nothing surprises me. Yeah, Department of Homeland Security. I've actually did videos on it, and this lady gets up there from the Department of Homeland Security and says, we are working together with Walmart, etc., etc. So yes, no doubt. Oh, it's gonna make me. That's all right. Speed Crusader said, ever seen Frankenski's That Is a Best documentary on on trails. It's super good, a lot of good evidence. No, but I would love to see it. I watch so much stuff on that, all the testing, people going out testing the snow, the chemicals are there. Here's another one. Look at Little Rock, and I wanted to take the time and put these on a map. It would take me a few hours for sure, but maybe we could see a pattern where these were all located, what they had in common, if they did have anything in common. Because it's not just those 5. It continues to go. There is just one after another after another. So I don't know what is, what is going down. Nope, Timothy. No, it's nothing. It's crazy how it does this. See, this one's in Long Beach. These were all in just about a week's, time separated. What could they possibly have needed to be closed down that much for when they already have all night to be closed down? We Are Free TV said it's going to be tough to keep our channel soon. Sucks. Oh, no doubt. Yeah, one more strike, this channel's gone. So that could be any day. I started deleting a few of my videos. Well, more than a few, really old ones, but I just ended up stopping doing it. I'm going to try to take the time to transfer them all over to either one of the newer sites or BitChute, just transfer all of them. I have them saved on this computer, but all it takes is this computer to go down, and then I would lose them for sure. Walmart temporarily closes Orange Store. Every one of them. I just don't believe in coincidences, and when you're seeing this many over and over and over again all doing that, there's something else going on. Here's another one, San Diego County. They're going to disinfect and, but like I asked, they are, they're not closed. They're already closed at night. So I don't get why they, it just doesn't add up to me. Amita, welcome in. But alright, we're going to go ahead. We'll leave this one here. Thank you all for joining. There's so much going on. I'll just continue to get this information out there to you. A couple more videos I'm working on. I'll get them out as soon as I can. And just want to thank you all. And, I can't do any of this without you. Let's just keep sharing this information. And all we got to do is save one more soul. One more person to become awake and to see what's going on. Makes every minute, worth it. Continue to pray, please. Thank you, Amita. Timothy said, I'm going to find out and figure out another way. But if you go to my page, it's the latest video description. Okay, I can go check it out. Yeah, I'm going to look into, I'm going to try to find out somebody that knows what I need to change so that you're able to do that. So, but just continue to pray, everybody. There is just so much happening, and without your faith, without that support, it's impossible to get through. So, I just ask you to please, if you haven't today, hit your knees, ask for forgiveness, and I promise you will never, ever regret it. St. James, thank you so much for being on tonight and modding. I know you're really busy. You mod for Mike. I know you do a lot, so I really, really appreciate it. And you have a great and blessed evening as well. Speed Crusader, you have a great day. Oh, he said they're even moving to control ham radio. Yeah, I've seen that. A few different articles over probably the past year. Yeah, they're eliminating the radio waves, eliminating them. Yep, another way to stop us from communicating, right? Oh, okay. I'll try to switch that, or, we'll figure it out, St. James. Thank you. We'll figure something out. Have a good night, Timothy. You as well. Speaker Crusader, have a great night. Everybody, thank you again. Just, remember, no fear, no panic. Don't ever panic with this, okay? Please. Promise me that you won't allow anything that I talk about, even if I get into it a lot, please know that I don't ever want you to fear or have any panic or anxiety over this. Alrighty, I'm going to jump in the chat here for just a minute. Much love all. Everybody have a good night.